Hello guys, and welcome to this ethical hacking edition. In this video, you will learn 4 very powerful ways to brute force and crack web logins. For instance, I have a login page on my screen, but I do not know what the password is. So if I tried to uh, put in some credentials, it's not going to log in because I do not know what the password is at this point. But in this video, you are going to learn the ways in which you can brute force this and get the password. But before we go into that, we currently have about 270 subscribers at this point, which continues to give us the encouragement to continue to make videos like this. But we want to take it to 1,000 subscribers, and with your subscription, we'll get there. So please, I would like you to take this moment to subscribe to this video, to this channel. Sorry, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video. Thank you. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers. For those of us that want to follow along, what I have here is just uh, a simple HTML server and web page that I've spun up. I will provide links to the resources in the description below. Basically, the GitHub repository link where you can get all these uh, codes and resources that you can also follow along. The first tool or method we'll be discussing and practicalizing is the Burp Suite. So Burp Suite is a very powerful and popular tool for brute forcing web applications. We are going to be using the intruder function of it to carry out this brute force. First of all, what we need to do is we are going to open Burp Suite. I have it right here. All right, so the function of Burp Suite that we'll be looking for is the intruder. So this one. But before then, we want to make sure that we are intercepting the requests. And just for simplicity's sake, we can open the inbuilt browser of Burp Suite. Okay, so we have this. So we're going to go to my local host. And we have this web page. Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize this for now. So we have this, but before we can submit anything, we want to make sure that we are listening for incoming connections or traffic. So we are going to turn the intercept on. So the intercept is on now. And then what you need to do next is we are going to try admin because obviously we want to get admin privileges. But then we do not know what the password is. So we want to intercept this request and then see how we can brute force it. So we're going to click on login, and as you can see, we have intercepted the request. And as you can see, the username and password I entered. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to send this to intruder. So we have it in intruder already. I want you to note something. This login /login is going to be needed in the next method we are going to demonstrate. Okay, so back to intruder. We want to highlight this password field because this is where we want to be trying different passwords. So we are going to click on add to make this a variable to insert our payloads. All right, next we are going to go to payloads. This is where you provide a list of passwords. You can get passwords from online available through data breaches. You know, there's a compilation of it online you can get. And if you are using Kali Linux, you probably have rockq.txt. You can use rockq.txt, it will work for this. But I have a shorter version I'm going to load. So I'm going to go into brute force fasttrack.txt. So this contains a list of passwords. And then you can also make further settings, like if you want to grep some things, but I'm going to clear this. I really don't need it. So this is basically what we need. Go to the payloads, make sure everything is set. And then next you click on start attack. So this is going to try each of the passwords. As you can see, it will try this password against this field and then provide us with the response. And then what you can notice is that the status code is 403, meaning unsuccessful, right? So we are going to be looking out for when the status code changes from 403 to either a redirect or an OK, that is 200, or a 303 or 301, either of those. So we'll be on the lookout. And so far, we've not gotten anything yet. If you check these status codes, you see that we have 200 status code here, which means a successful login. Okay, and then if you check the password here that we got is password 123. All right, so I think we've gotten the password. And then to confirm this, okay, so we can go to proxy and then turn intercept off. And then we want to confirm. So we got a password of password 123. So we are going to enter it here. And if it's correct, then we should be able to log in successfully. And as you can see, you have successfully logged in. All right, so this is just one of the powerful ways. Up next, we look at the second method to brute force web logins. The next powerful tool we are going to demonstrate is Hydra. So Hydra is a very powerful tool that is used for brute forcing login forms. It contains tools to brute force very sophisticated web logins. So we can use Hydra to attempt multiple login combinations against our login page here. To demonstrate this, I'm going to minimize this for now. I'm going to, I'm going to need a terminal window. So Hydra is available by default on Kali Linux. So you can just type Hydra like this. And then we want to specify -L. So we want to try the username admin. So there are two ways you can try this. If you have a list of usernames that you want to try, then you can make this a capital L and then provide the link or the path to the compiled usernames. But in this case, we just want to try the username of admin. And then we want to provide the list of passwords to try with. So I have mine as fasttrack.txt. It's the same password file we used in the Burp Suite. Okay, with that done, then next you want to specify the URL to, or the IP address of the target. And since it's my local host, I'm going to provide that here. Next, you want to specify the port. It's running on port 5000. Mind you, if you are doing this with a web form in production, sometimes you might not necessarily need to provide a port. All you need to do is just provide the IP address. Okay. So, and what we want to do, we want to load a method of HTTP post form. This tells the Hydra that we want to brute force a HTTP post form. And now the next step is very, very important. You are going to begin with quotation marks, then /, and then remember when I mentioned that we are going to need something important from Okay. So we're going to need, remember what I told you we're going to need. For example, let's just turn this on again and then check something. I'm going to log out. Sorry, turn this off. So let's say we have admin, we have provided the wrong username, for example. Make sure to turn this back on. Then when I click on login, you see this uh, username equal admin and password equal admin is going to be needed. But first and foremost, we want to copy this /login. So we copy it, then we go back to this and paste. So we already have the /, we're going to type login, then colon. Now, after the colon is where you provide this next information right here. So copy this and then paste. Now, mind you, if you are doing this brute force or pen test on a web form that is hosted, that is in production, you will have a lot more content here than just this username and password. So copy whatever you have there and paste it here. All right. So we want to go ahead and close this out. Close our Burp Suite because we no longer need it. All right. Now, so after that, we want to edit a few things here. So you go to where you have this admin. So you are going to clear it out and then enter this command right here. So this will tell Hydra that, okay, this place is going to be filled with the username that we are going to provide. And then also here, we're going to type in pass. So this will tell Hydra that, okay, when you say this, fill it with the passwords. Okay. With that done, then we add another colon. And then now you want to specify identifier for Hydra to know whether a login is successful or not. And since we don't know what a successful login looks like for now, presumably, but we'll know what it looks like when we enter the wrong password. So you are going to provide that identifier here, and for us is invalid username or password. Okay, and then you end the quotation marks right here. So let's go over what we have. So we have the Hydra -L to specify the username we want to test with. Then the -P, capital P, to provide a list of passwords to try it with. Then -F to provide the IP address of the target. -S to provide the ports that we are targeting. And then the method, which is the HTTP post form. Then the URL, which is /login, username, password, and then our identifier, which is invalid username or password. So all fingers crossed, hit enter. And as you can see here, you will notice a few things that happened. But right back at our terminal, you can see the result. So it says host, which is the IP address we provided, the login, which is what we provided, and as you can see, the password, which is password123, which is what we provided, which is identified from the list of passwords. So your password list contains this, and then when it tried it against this username admin, it got a successful login. So we have identified the password to our login, which is password123. And to confirm also, we can come back here and enter password123. And as you can see, you have successfully logged in. the third method we'll be using to brute force this weblogin is ffuf or ffuf, which stands for pause faster. I have to censor that because of YouTube community guidelines, but that is it. And it's a very powerful tool that is primarily designed for forcing URL parameters. For example, maybe we have an API or a URL and want to force that URL link to know what other parameters it takes. Like, okay, we have a host slash contact us slash payment slash admin, all those. So we can use this tool to force it, but we are using it here to also brute force for weblogging. So we can use it to brute force a post form. And to do that, we'll head back to now in this terminal, we are going to enter ffuf. It's also a tool that is available on Kali Linux. And if not, you can just download it from the app repository by app install ffuf. Okay, similar to how we use the Hydra, we are going to use this to specify the target URL. We are going to use -u http 127.0.0.1 port 5000, which is the URL and port. And then we are going to specify that this is a post connection we are trying to make. Then -d to specify the username and password that we want. We want the username of admin. And then for the password, we want it to false. So we are going to type FUZZ like this. This way, whenever the password is needed, it will look at a password file we are going to provide in a moment, and then impute each of those passwords here, and then try to gain access. All right. Then next, you want to provide the link or the path to the password file, and I have it as fasttrack.txt. If you are on Kali Linux, you can go to user share word list and then rockq.txt. It will also work. All right. Then we need -h for the content. So it's going to be content type. And you're going to provide application x www form, sorry, I want to make sure I spell that right, form URL encoded, and then close the quotation marks. And then you want to filter out 200. So this is 200, meaning a successful connection. So let's go back to what we have here. We have the ffuf, which is the tool. -u specifies the target URL. Then -x specifies that we want to make a post request. Okay. Then -d specifies the username and then the password. For the username, we want to try admin. Then for the password, we want to force it. Basically, take each password from the password file and test it. Then we want to provide the content type, which is application /x dash www form URL encoded. They want to filter out the successful connection. So we hit enter, and then when we do that, you're going to notice some activities here. So let's go ahead and hit enter. As you can see, so that's very fast. So if you go over to this terminal here, you see status 200, size 16, words 2, lines 1, and then duration 115 milliseconds. And as you can see here, we have the same password has been identified as password 123. So ffuf has been able to identify a password for that username admin. To also confirm, you can just go in and enter the admin and password. But we've already done that. But just for doing sake, you can just also quickly and as you can see, welcome to the home page. You have successfully logged in. Okay, now we have one more tool to demonstrate. But before we demonstrate that, I would also like to remind you again and then to ask that you please subscribe to the channel. It helps us to produce and publish more videos and content like this and encourages us that, okay, there are people that we are actually impacting. So please take us to 1,000 subscribers and more. The fourth and last tool we'll be looking at here is the CURL, which is short for client URL. It's basically a command line tool that is used for transferring data over various network protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, and a lot more. But for our scenario here, we are going to use it to brute force a web login, and then we should get a password that will enable us to gain access. Now, for this last tool, we are going to let me open. Do I need to open a new terminal? Or I can just let's just use this one. Okay, for this last tool, we are going to write a very short bash script. And like I mentioned, the link to these resources are provided in the description below, so find it. But I'll go over the script we need to write. So basically, we are writing a bash script, right? And then we are defining the URL, the target URL here, which is our local host, and then the port 5000 as we did before. Then we want to try a username, which may be through social engineering or whatever will be able to identify the admin as a username. Then we need to provide the link or the path to the password file. So you can provide the path to rocku.txt or any other password text file that you have. But for me, I've provided mine here, which is fasttrack.txt. Then we are going to loop over this file. This is what this loop is, this while loop, this is what it's doing right here. So while read, then we read from the password file. We are going to send a CURL command to this target URL. And then if it's successful, we print out the successful password. If not, we move over to the next one and provide the failed password. All right, like I mentioned, the link to this bash script is provided in the description below. Okay, so basically with this script ready, all we need to do is just to come to a terminal. Let me clear this. And then you need to just run bruteforce.sh. That's all you need to run. But before then, you can try to maybe change mode to enable you to be able to run it. So what next, we just run it. So it's going to be bruteforce.sh and then just run it. And as you can see, it's trying the various passwords. And then if you check the last line here, you see login successful with password of password 123. Before that, it tried various other passwords. See, failed login attempt with password security 3, failed trying password complex 2, failed login attempt with password complex 2. But the final line shows login successful with password 123. Okay, guys. So with these 4 powerful tools, you can brute force and crack any web login that you are required to do, maybe for penetration testing, ethical hacking, or whatever ethical needs you might need. Okay, if you've made it this far, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and then hopefully see you in the next video. Thank you.